tags, and if they're at max range, you're looking at closer to 7 or 8. Now, name a better duo than NA West in zones pulling directly over these key bridges. As you can see, J Rose's trashy invert going to stake claim, and getting onto the bridge and getting priority position is so huge there, because being able to refarm those hard mats is so efficient in the late game. So now we'll swing on over. First place trio raining shots down on the second place trio there. They have a great line on that.
Kenshi actually, in the meantime on this rotation, did end up getting knocked to a bow. They were able to pick him up and still continue to put this pressure down. And I think they're going to keep that up. They seem very aggressive. They know they got a lot of damage off onto Caleb Tautai and Wheels. And in all honesty, if you're rotating behind a trio, we've talked about this many times before, this is what you need to do. You need to pressure them so they build for you, but don't stop. As soon as they stop, that's when you're going to have an issue. Caleb Tautai and Wheels have set up right on the edge of zone though, and look at immediately how many hard mats Fast Snacky and Kenshi had to use immediately over to that metal, and that investment is gonna hurt them.
This rotation is so tough if you're on the northwestern side, because that island is just inside the zone, and you currently have the second place team who's just posted up there. They don't have to invest a ton of bats because they can sit inside that house and just refarm it. And when we talk about that, that means breaking down the walls and then replacing them. It means you're hyper efficient on the mats. And now these two teams both on the edge of zone, you can see investing the hard mats, going out as Clay talked about, but about facing, because 1, 2, 3, was that 4, maybe 5 different trios all stuck out in the zone. Keep an eye on the bottom right hand corner, because they're all going to have to run into just this absolute buzzsaw that's the first and second place trios right now in NA West. And just look at the damage, look at the investment having to come through. Jaruto gets put down right away. Carnage is jumping into the carnage, trying to mermaid his way down, but he's going to get shot like a fish out of water. Aiden trying to sneak away, but he gets cleaned up in a great line. You can see GG Easy and Venor, Spidey and Co. actually being pressured by Storm Surge. You have Dylan, Juicy, and Quinn coming from a real odd angle, so they rotated away from the north. However, they are going to be able to pick up some elims, and they're just going to wait a second, because rotating in here is very scary, as they will stick a revive. So currently only 2 members up, and getting in's going to be tough, as Snacky, Faz, and Kenshi are paying attention. They know they're there. We'll swing over. Mojo Solution, Jagvir, Shifu, Dep X, and Co. just on the opposite side of them. They're rotating away from the eastern, or the northern side of the map, excuse me, as they come out of Lazy Lake.
They were also stealing all that loot away as well. Quinn and company really needed that, and they were like, oh wait, hold on, we needed a little bit more. So that makes it even more difficult. But you saw 500 and 400 damage above Surge, and we've seen that's not enough. It used to be enough, but everyone is being a lot more aggressive for those tags. You have to keep up with it. If you go and get 500 damage this zone and you don't hit a single tag after that, you are going to be in a big issue. But look at 40R, look at Cause, look at Adam, look at the completely different rotation from Quinn and company. That priority on their rotation coming out of the same POI being prioritized a little bit more by 40R.
And Mojo doing his best William Tell impersonation, or at least the person who was shooting arrows at him, because you saw those little trails just go right over his head multiple times as he swam across it. And oh boy, look at the zone. We talked about it, not quite directly over that bridge, but we're going straight over to Old Man Mountain to kick it off here in NA West. The changes in verticality are going to make high ground such a huge priority. You can see Favs and Snacky going to be pressured a little bit. Kenshi currently bringing up the rear there. Jagger and Solution a little bit ahead, but Mojo is very far separated from them. You can see how everyone just wants to get some form of positioning, because this zone is going to be brutal, Clay.
And we saw this zone almost exactly yesterday, and we saw the way it ended up shaping out, going right up to Mount K, and it again was brutal. And we saw this actually the same zone last FNCS, I think on the very last day, and I think even the last game players had to fight this exact zone. And look at Rex, Arkham, and Epic Well. They've got a legendary stink bow looking for the Surge.
So what happened yesterday in this exact situation, the zone continued pulling down towards the south, almost in the Camp Cod area. That was when Riversont, Blizzy, and Nate ended up getting control pretty much entirely on the western side, and then it pulled up towards that high mountain. So what we're going to be paying attention to, you can see in 5 seconds, all those trios are cramped in around the outside of the circle. We'll have one more interior